Okay, here we are, a new day. A new day, a different truck, same old story. Buy truck, remove box, sell box, do something else with the truck. It's what we do. We do a lot of it. Now in this case, this truck is a newer truck, and it had a 26-foot specialized box on it. We took the box off, it's long gone. So now what we're gonna do is put a 22-foot flatbed on this truck. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this to where it's very simple to take off and put back on, so if someone wants it without the flatbed, it's not gonna take me very long. We are gonna take the cross members and we're gonna knock these huck bolts loose. There's 1, 2, 3 in the front, and we're gonna do 1 in the back. Okay, and then we're gonna take this 6-inch C-channel and we're gonna cut it with the Evolution carbide chop saw, which works fantastic. Here's one specimen already. I cut this angle cut off of it. That's 16 inches long. I understand that that 6-inch C-channel is far too big, way overkill for what we're doing. I understand that. However, it is what it is. I'm using what we have. Yes, it would be probably smarter to go get 3-inch C-channel, but this is what we're going to use. There are some other things in the works with this flatbed, so if the truck doesn't sell, this will make good sense to us. You'll see why. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to knock all these things loose, the plasma cutter real quick. We're going to do side by side. We are going to get this ready to go. We're going to take these pieces and we're going to drill holes in them that correspond with them cross members. So we will have this whole section that is bolted to the truck, and then the top section will extend 6 inches up, and it will weld to the main runners that would sit right here on top of the frame. So that's what we're doing. Many of you recognize this truck. This is my 2002 FL70. We built this truck about 5, maybe 6 years ago. I bought 5 of these at one time. They were all 26-foot box trucks. I picked the nicest one, kept it for myself, sold the rest of them off. I sold the box off of it, and then we built this bed to put on it. This bed is 20-foot flat down to there, to the dovetail, and then 7 foot of dovetail. I have a dump valve on the back so it lowers, easy to load. You guys, some of you have seen some of the heavy stuff we put on this thing. So here's what I want to show you. When we did this, that's exactly how we tied this bed to this truck. This is where the cross member is. We knocked the huck bolts off, replaced the huck bolts with locking nuts and flat washers, and you notice there's no wood in between the two. I didn't want wood in here. I don't like wood in between there. It just holds water and they rust jack. I take off far too many boxes that have wood in there and have damaged the frames. So we stuck washers in here every so often, all the way down. And if you notice, there's no rust staining coming down. And mind you, this bed was built 5 or 6 years ago. And there's no rust staining anywhere. There's no cracks, no broken welds, no nothing, no sags, no twists. It's worked just fine. It worked perfectly. I couldn't be any happier. So, that being said, that's exactly what we're going to do with this other bed. So, let's get back in the shop and get to work. Okay, so I got my brackets all cut, and I drilled all my holes, grade 8 fasteners, so on and so forth. So, we end up with 1 in the back, then the bed will mount back here, and then there'll be a piece of C-channel that comes down for our rear bumper. I still have to clean this off. I haven't did any grinding on that yet. And I got all the brackets up this way, and they're on, but they're loose. Okay, you can see how they're away from the frame. I did this so that when we set the bed down in here, we have some give. That side is much looser than this side. I don't want both sides really loose. The spacing through here was, it was good. It was okay, but we had a big space from here to the rear where there was nothing. I didn't like that, so I took some of that. I had some of that double frame material, the stuff that goes over top of frame like this. It's 3/16 thick, which, you know, that's about what that is. So I took some bracket, the bolts out where the bracket is that holds the cross member in for the front leaf spring hanger on both sides, and I just made it to where we had 4 inches here, 6 inches here, just like those, 6 inches above. So now the problem is going to be, we'll set the bed down in, and there will be interference in here because of L brackets that come from the main runner to the cross members. We'll show you that later, but I'm just about ready to take it outside and fit the bed for the first time. It'll be on and off probably a couple times. So I come in here real gentle like and try and square up to the truck. Like a lot of people will use a crane to do this, and man, it would be a lot easier. However, that's not what I got. So the biggest factor right now is to get the frame of the truck square with the frame of the bed. And once I do that, I'll drop it down, get a little closer, see what we got. I know the mud flaps were going to be a problem, but that's okay. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is, you'll see the back, I have them brackets wide, left loose so it'll guide it, and then I can change the front as I need. Because once the back is in, it's going to kind of hold it a little bit. So then I can take the front and shove it over just a little and see how it's going to work. Alright. Sitting on top of this one. I'm going to have to go over some. Normally I would do this with my wife, but we have our granddaughter today, so I have to do this on my own. There we go. There we go. Alright, I got the bed sitting on now. I want to clean up all this rust and huck bolts and stuff, because I'm going to be using creeper seat and creeper to roll around, and that just makes it miserable. I used to have a real nice metal dustpan, but I don't know what in the world happened to it, because we can't find it. I break these things constantly. I need to find another one of them. I can't remember where I got it from. It was all metal. It made me thinking, why don't you put that in your trash? Tell you why I don't. Our friend of ours, he scraps. That's what he does. So I put this in a 5-gallon bucket for him, and he'll dump it in the next car that he scraps. I mean, it's all steel. I mean, some of it's rust, but whatever. He wants it for weight, so that's what we do with it. Okay, well, as usual, plans have changed. Alright, so I was putting this truck together. This is just a truck I had with a flatbed I had laying around, and I had a purpose. I needed to go pick something up. I needed to be dock height, and I needed about 20 feet of flatbed at dock height. Where I had to go, it's not cost effective to take the big rollback that gets, 6 miles a gallon. That was pointless. It's worth it to spend the time to put this on here to do what I got to do, because I need to make more than one trip. I got to make several trips doing what I got to do. So I was putting this together, and I thought, you know what, I'll put this together because what I'm putting on here is only going to weigh 9,200 pounds each time. So my weight layout on this truck, it doesn't matter. It's fine. However, since I started this, a guy showed up. He's a friend of somebody I know, and he saw this truck. He says, man, it's perfect for what I'm doing. He came in, I was putting it together. He saw what I was doing, and he's like, that truck's perfect for me. I need that truck. And I said, well, what do you want to do? Like I do with every truck someone wants to buy, is what is your purpose? What are you trying to do with this? Because it's a 33,000 or 32,000 GVW truck, meaning the rear axle's rated at 20,000, the front axle's rated at 12,000. Now, typically in this truck, you wouldn't see this combination. You wouldn't see this axle back this far. This truck really needs to have like a 26-foot flatbed on it, or 26-foot something, which was what was on it. That's why the axle's back so far. Well, what he does is he transports these IBC totes full of chemicals, and each one weighs the same weight, and this 22-foot long bed suits him perfect for what he has to do and the equipment he has to move with it. And I told him, I said, okay, well, you need to understand something. When you are distributing your load evenly across this flatbed, that is normally a great thing, unless your axle's back this far, because his weight is going to put him, the best we can figure, at 31,750, based on what I think the truck's going to weigh and what he knows his equipment and the product that he's carrying will weigh. So you are right at the edge of what this truck can do. The problem is, with this axle back this far, you're not going to be able to get enough weight back here on this axle, because you only have roughly, let's see, what is that, about 4 feet from the center of the axle to the end of the flatbed. And then you end up with 17 feet up here. Normally what we would want to see in a 22-foot flatbed, or any upfit for a straight truck. I'm not talking about a wrecker or rollback. I'm just talking about, a traditional medium-duty truck setup like this. We're looking for what I call a 60-40 split. We want from the center of the axle forward 60% of the length of the bed, and from the center of the axle back 40%. So from the front of that back to the center of the axles should be 13.2, which leaves 8.8, not 8 foot 8 inches, but 8 foot and 8/10 of a foot. So that's where it should be. So theoretically, it should be, there's a foot there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So right here should be the center of the axle. That's about where it should be, and which would leave about 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, almost 9 feet. What would we say? 8.8 feet left behind it, which is typical. That way you can get more weight on the heavier axle than the front axle. So I understand this situation isn't ideal. He wants this thing as low as possible. He wants me to put that C-channel directly on that frame. He does not want an air gap. He does not want wood. He wants nothing. He says, all my trucks are set up like that. I want that sitting right down on there. So I'm pulling my washers out of there, my space. I'm making sure there's no crud in between the two, and we're going to put it down and we're going to get it mounted. I am going to mount this. I am going to do what I need to do with it, and then he can buy the truck. Not a minute before. Three-inch C-channel. Okay, so all the brackets are welded on and the bolts are tightened up. I ran the SAE washers, and those are 5/8 bolts. And I made this small ICC bumper. This is designed like this for a specific purpose. There's going to be a hitch added to this, and it's going to come down here and across. So it was very important that I was square everywhere on here. So it took me a little while. I used a jack and some cribbing, and I got it just right, tacked it in place, and then welded it. And I welded it here where the end of the frame meets the C channel. And you ain't gonna be able to see this. You can't see it on the inside. So now I just need to wire these lights up, get them bolted on. The license plate is going to go in the hitch. He has something he's doing with that. So let me finish this up real quick. Alright, so this paints a better picture. You can see what I'm talking about here. It's, you know, not enough bed behind the axle. But whatever. It is what it is. It's all done. ICC bumper is finished up. All my brackets are tightened up. I got lights. That'll do just fine. Everything works like it's supposed to. I didn't put a backup alarm on it. Not sure if I'm going to. But anyways, that's it for this one. Like I said, I have something to do with it before the guy comes to get it. I have 9 trips to make, all to the same place, picking up some stuff. So I'm gonna do that, and then this truck's out of here. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments down below, guys, and we will catch you on the next one.